realized a number of years ago with my colleagues that, and this really came as a shock to me, talking to my 19-year-old students, 20-year-old students who'd been in the formal education system for, say, 18, 15 years. And what I realized, it was within a course I was teaching called Maps of Meaning, which was based on the first book that I wrote. And it's a book about how our existence, even our perceptions, our motivations, our emotions are grounded in narrative. They're grounded in stories. And I believe the scientific evidence for that is actually overwhelming. We'll pay money to go see movies, to be instructed by stories. It's a very deep part of our character. In any case, I realized that my students hadn't ever really been asked to write their own stories. And, you can write a story about who you've been, and you can write a story about who you are now, but you can also write a story about who you could be. And, they had written essays on all sorts of abstract topics and been asked to think, to some degree, deeply about those topics, but no one had ever sat them down and said explicitly, okay, look, kid, here's the deal. You can have what you want and need, assuming you're taking care of yourself, right? Assuming that you're starting out with the proper attitude towards yourself, which is that you're worthy of care and respect, and there's something to you that's valuable that at least could be developed. You need to give yourself that amount of credit, like you would with anyone that you might be willing to attempt to care for and love. And then the next question is, all right, you can have what you want, but you have to specify it. What would you like from your friends 3 to 5 years down the road? What would you like your friendship network to look like? What would you like to do? How would you like your career to shape itself? How are you going to take care of your family? And then what about children and a long-term mate, a wife or a husband? What are you going to do with your time outside of work that's useful and engaging and meaningful and productive? How are you going to take care of yourself mentally and physically? And how are you going to withstand temptation so that it doesn't take you down in the particular way that temptation might take you down? And so you're asked to write a few sentences, not to be obsessive about it, but to sketch it out like a bad first draft, And then you're asked to write for 15 minutes. It's like, okay, it's 3 to 5 years down the road, and you have what you need and want to make your life what it needs to be, so that you can be a good person in the face of the suffering of life. What does it look like? And then we ask people to do the contrary, which I think is also useful, which is, all right, well, consider for a moment the multitude of your faults and the direction those faults could pull you in. And everyone knows that. Everyone has a sense of how they would fall apart in their own particular manner, with their own particular weaknesses. It's 3 to 5 years down the road, and you've let that part of your character dominate. What particular corner of hell is it that you're now occupying? And so now you have something to aim at. You have a purpose, right? And that's motivating. People need a purpose in life. You need a purpose neurochemically, because without a purpose, you don't feel any positive motivation or any positive emotion. Like, our positive emotion is linked to our pursuit of valuable goals. That's how our brains are set up. And so you need that positive goal, and also to stop you from being unduly uncertain and anxious because nothing is specified enough. And you need something to run away from. And so you can run away from the worst in you. You can escape from the worst in you, and you can move towards the best in you. And then we have people write out a strategic plan for the accomplishment of their goals. It's called the Future Authoring Program, by the way. It's available online at a site called selfauthoring.com. And we've tried it with thousands of university students now, and it's had a remarkable effect on their retention. the effect is approximately 25%. We decrease dropout by 25%, and it seems to be most effective for the most disaffected students. So it works better for men, because women are outperforming men academically, and it actually works better for non-Western ethnic minority men, having a tremendous impact on their likelihood of staying in university and also on their grades. But the thing that was so strange to me when I was developing that program, and this was like, it was a miracle, a negative miracle of sorts, it just struck me as so palpably surreal that we would spend 15 years educating people and never once sit them down seriously and say, okay, look, you can craft yourself to some degree. You have the capacity to write your destiny, not in its entirety, but at least as a sequence of aims. And having done that, you need also to justify it. So for example, one of the things we ask people to do once they've specified a goal is to say, well, okay, imagine you achieved this goal. Okay, so why is that good for you? Why is it good for your family? Why is it good for your community? You know, because if you want to be locked in on a goal in a manner that's sufficient to take you through the trials that will occur while you're pursuing this goal, especially if it's a high-order goal and it's difficult, then you need an explicit philosophy, a rationale for why this is worth pursuing. It's like, well, here's what it'll do for me in the sense of the development of my character and my capacity to deal with the world. And here's how it'll strengthen my family. And here's how it will benefit the community. And then having formulated those arguments, you have that body of carefully articulated thought that enables you to chase away the doubts that will inevitably accrue as you're attempting to do something difficult. You have to negotiate with yourself, and you have to justify what you're doing carefully and philosophically, deeply, so that you have the commitment and the strength of character that enables you to push through times that are difficult. And so we discovered that hadn't been done, except in isolated cases. There were some business people who were working on similar projects, and a man at the University of Texas at Austin, James Pennebaker, and the program has been phenomenally successful, and thousands of people have now done it online. And so if you have any interest in doing this, which I would recommend, it's also okay to do it badly, because a good first draft aim for your life is incomparably better than vague, nihilistic hopelessness. And you're not going to get it right anyways, because what do you know? You know, you're going to pursue your goal avidly for a year or so, especially at your age, and you're going to learn a bunch, and then your trajectory is going to shift. But it doesn't matter, because the trick is to get the process of moving forward toward the aim started, and then to have the humility to make course changes along the way as you inform yourself. And so it gets the ball rolling. People come up to me, and this is happening wherever I go now, and they say, I've been listening to your lectures, and I've been developing a vision for my life, and I've been trying to take responsibility, and I've been trying to tell the truth, and things are way better. And so that's absolutely perfect. It's the right way forward as far as I'm concerned. And those are people who, they took stock of themselves. They said, I'm in a dark place, and I'm a dark person, and here's some things that this dark person in this dark place could do. Little things that they could actually do. I'll clean up my damn room. I'll make my bed. I don't know how many people have come and told me. It's so strange. They said, well, I started making my bed, and that made all the difference. It's like, well, yeah, you decided to aim up, man. And the first concrete instantiation of that was that you made your bed. And you think, well, that's nothing heroic. It's like, no, but aiming up is heroic. That's something. And then lowering yourself to the point where you're not above the mess in your room. You know, you're not superordinate to that. You lower yourself so that you straighten up. You're grateful for what you have right in front of you, and you take care of it and you put it in order. It's like all of a sudden things start to get better. It's so wonderful to be doing this tour because I see, so that's what this tour has been about for me. It's not political. I never talk to people after the talks, for example. I talk to about 150 people a night. We never talk about anything political. It's always this. I wasn't doing very well. I'm putting my life together. I'm getting along better with my father. I'm getting along better with my wife. I'm getting along better with my kids. I've got some meaning in my life. Thanks a lot. It's way better. It's like, yes, that's the right thing. If you're in a dark and terrible place and someone says you're okay the way you are, then you don't know what to do about that. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm having a terrible time and I'm hopeless. You're okay the way you are. Well, then what? That's it? That's where I am? And what do you want to tell a young person? You're 17. You're okay the way you are. It's like, no, you're not. You got 60 years to be better. And you could be way better. You could be incomparably better across multiple dimensions. And in pursuing that better, that's where you'll find the meaning in your life. And that will give you the antidote to the suffering.
Anh hay mơ mộng mình thứ xa xôi, không màng về tình ái muôn nơi, sống cho là tròn kiếp đây thôi, đâu quan tâm gì chuyện đời. Thế mà lại ngâm tương tư, ông tầm bà mối xa tơ, đêm nằm trộm nhớ mơ mơ về ai. Thì ra anh yêu rồi, từ ánh mắt nụ cười, từ đôi môi gọi mưa sao xuyến lòng anh. Thì ra mê em rồi, ngày hay đêm ôm lời, chỉ nghĩ đến em thôi, đó là do anh đã yêu rồi, anh đã yêu rồi, anh đã Anh hay mơ mộng mình thứ xa xôi, không màng về tình ái muôn nơi, sống cho là trọn kiếp đây thôi, đâu quan tâm gì chuyện đời, thế mà lại nằm